And we're live with the next episode of Paranormal Dash Spirits. And this is a place that we come to get our booze on. This is a place where we talk about the booze. And this is a place where I get to do this with all my favorite booze. I'm Mike Black. This is my wife, Alyssa.
Hello.
And my best friend, John Burkett.
Hola.
Hola.
My hair is super puffy today.
Your hair is puffy
Mine
today.
too.
Yeah.
This weather, I tell you.
So I'm hoping
hell
that
out
we
here.
have some of the lightning come through, because we've got a storm going on that we planned for the podcast. So we put a request in and we got a thunderstorm.
We did a rain dance.
We did a rain dance in the
Special
backyard.
ceremony.
Smoked a peace pipe
Should have
and
That was on the 20th.
420
on your birthday.
on my birthday. So we
You
did
and Adolf Hitler.
and Carmen Electra.
And weed.
So we did a rain dance out there. Oh, lightning. There we go. We got some. Yay. So tonight we are partaking in a liquor, as we do every night that we do a podcast. So John, take it away. What are we drinking tonight?
Let's not lie. We do
I
it
love-
every night, regardless
I
of the
love-
podcast.
Wait,
We usually partake in the
brought-
liquor.
You brought this one. It's
Some days.
Herradura, Añejo,
Here you go.
Crystal.
You want to read the bottle?
Yeah, probably. This is Herradura. It's Añejo tequila.
Ultra.
And this is Cristalino. Is that how you pronounce it?
That is how you pronounce it.
Cristalino. So it's like an Añejo that they've taken the color out of somehow.
Bingo. And
So it looks like a Blanco.
believe it or not, they do it with charcoal.
Oh, it's charcoal filtered.
It is literally
Are they using the
charcoal filtered,
Lincoln County method, like
whiskey or
like
something?
Jack Daniels?
I don't know. I do know that it's charcoal filtered though. They take an añejo, which an añejo, as we all know, is an aged tequila, more than 1 year, and between 1 and 3 for añejo, and they age it in these barrels, these oak barrels, and it gets this nice dark, or well, I won't say dark,
Takes on
but
a whiskey
brown
character
color.
a little bit.
Yeah, it does.
Caramel.
And then
I don't want to make a big noise with that.
once that's done with a Cristalino, they take it and they filter it through charcoal. They pull all the color out and all the flavor stays.
Do you think that affects the flavor at all? Or is
Well, I would have to pair this against
they're normal
or
Añejo?
compare this to a regular añejo, and I haven't done that with the Herradura Ultra yet. So I don't know.
So you'd have to take the Herradura Añejo, the norm.
Right. I would have to do the normal one first. Try that and see how.
That sounds like a hard chore.
Oh,
It sounds like a lot of work.
I would sacrifice for that. I would.
Like a
Just so that
flight.
we-
Have like a
just so
little
that we
flight.
know.
That's what we need to do one time. Have like skis and have like a little flight of.
So what does the website say about this? That has a lot of legs for something that's been filtered through charcoal. That has some pretty strong legs on it.
Yeah, the only thing I'm familiar with filtered through charcoal is Jack Daniels. And I think Dickel uses that too. I think they call it the Lincoln County process.
Is that what it's called?
Something along, yeah, because that's the only places where they really do it is
Right.
So it says this
Tennessee.
premium tequila starts with one of our finest añejos and undergoes a charcoal filtering process to remove color and enhance smoothness. The complex taste of cooked agave, caramel, honey, and toasted almonds make Tequila Herradura Ultra the best tequila for enhancing cocktails such as a fresh margarita or paloma. Or don't mar it and just drink it, because that's delicious.
I don't know what a paloma is, but
I'm
that would
Grapefruit.
I'm not gonna.
Grapefruit, sir. It
Is
is
it?
tequila
It's
and
tequila and
grapefruit. You can either do
Yeah.
fresh grapefruit juice or
So
grapefruit
I'm
soda.
not going to take what I would consider at least a mid grade tequila, and
it's an ultra. It says on the bottom.
yeah, it's
So
actually
this
an
is
ultra.
ultra
it is
premium.
aged 4 years.
4 years.
Wow,
Okay,
yeah.
cool. So it's actually an extra añejo, is what it is. 'Cause it's over 3.
Maybe that's
So
what the ultra.
Maybe
Añejo.
that's what they call it.
So the color is platinum. The nose is wood, vanilla, and caramel. The palate is subtle notes of cooked agave, caramel, vanilla, wood, honey, dried fruits, and toasted almonds, with an easy and pleasant beyond smooth finish.
So let's get this started. So
I don't know if I call that platinum. I just call that clear.
Yeah,
That's their color is platinum.
they did it. They get to name it. So 1 tequila,
2 tequila.
3 tequila, floor.
Creamy
So-
velvet sensation on the palate. Let's see.
Oh, that's nice.
And
Oh yeah, it is.
it smells
It
like
is.
an añejo.
It smells like caramel and vanilla.
Cilantro.
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 It's a little sharper than the Clooney juice.
You think so? Yeah, you're right. I feel a little burny.
It's got a little bit of bite, but just So-
Just enough to make it.
enough to know that let you know you're drinking tequila.
I get the almond. Now that they said almond, now my brain is
I'm sorry.
tasting almond.
So and no, I mean,
but I would have said vanilla and caramel before. But
Vanilla-
now, like,
I get vanilla, caramel. I can taste.
Do you get the wood?
I don't get a
No.
lot of wood out of it, so I think maybe they filtered the oak out of that with the charcoal process. Maybe
what's
Well-
odd about this is like you look at it and your brain is
as
expecting a
Plata,
blanco or a
Blanco,
plata,
mhm.
and then
It's
You
too
get
smooth
those-
for that, though. It's
well,
too
you get
smooth and
those,
sweet for that. There's not enough alcohol behind it.
desserty notes.
Yeah, you get that vanilla, you get that caramel.
And let's clarify for almonds, it's not like almond extract flavoring. It's actual like almonds, like a toasty.
Tastes like cooked
almond.
almonds.
Yeah.
Not like raw almonds, but
Yes. It's very tasty.
kind of like the slivers
very
that are
good.
in between the green beans.
You actually
Green
eat
bean
those?
almondine.
I like
You
those.
actually eat those? I thought you were supposed to flick those out or something. Oh, that's
Actually,
funny.
a little bit. Actually, I would say it tastes more like biscotti. You know, the
Oh,
little
yeah.
Italian. Those,
Mm-hmm.
Or biscotti for those of
Biscotti.
us that are not as
Yeah, that's what it tastes like.
up on our Italian.
I'm
Almost almond liqueur-ish kind of.
there is an almond
But
to it
not
for
like
sure.
Disaronno. It's not we're not there.
No,
Cuz see, I don't like that flavor.
no, it still tastes like agave mixed with that too,
Mm-hmm.
but more like agave syrup or something instead of.
There's so little pepper to this though. It doesn't have a lot of pepper bite to it like a lot of tequilas do. You know,
It's a little
Yeah.
hot. Like there's a little.
It's a little bit
there's
hot.
a little, but it's not overwhelming. It's not strong for sure.
No, it's
It's
smooth.
still not one I'm going to be mixing like they're suggesting.
No, I don't think that would go well with lime and.
This one, the recipe that they
sounds
had was called a basil smash. And it has like pineapple juice, lemon juice, agave nectar, egg white, and basil leaves.
Egg white.
I'm sorry, egg white?
Nope.
Yes.
Like a whiskey sour. Ugh.
Yeah.
Nope.
But pineapple and lemon, I don't think I want to put that with that.
I like tequila too much. I like good tequilas, and I like tequila too much
To mar it
to
with.
bastardize it with.
What we'll have to do with pineapple is I'm going to bring that bottle of mezcal.
Is it?
And I've got pineapple juice because that's what
You're
cuts
supposed
that
to use
smoke.
the fruit.
But remember when we went to that tequila bar that he said you mix it with the pineapple and that cuts that smoke.
Right.
If you're not into the smoke, which I'm not.
Yeah, me neither.
Because that is not like good peat smoke in an Isla whiskey. It is like diesel.
That is like you're smoking a brisket.
I am not a fan of mezcal. Let's
That is
just leave it at
smoking a
that.
brisket.
But that guy said that, and so
And the bartender down in at that tequila bar we went to recently,
San Antonio.
Yeah.
I'll have to bring that bottle of mezcal. That way I can leave it here.
Okay.
Get it off my. I mean, I don't know. It might be good. We put it with the pineapple
It might be.
and some tahine.
It
Yeah.
might be.
Little bit.
Lots
tahine.
of, and by type pineapple, you mean half the bottle because it needs a lot.
I'm thinking
maybe-
of fresh pineapple sliced up, dropped
Yep.
in it with some.
It
They
maybe
smoked
it
it
is-
at the one we were at.
Maybe a half a bottle of Irish right in front of it to numb my.
Ooh, man, it's rough.
It is rough.
And
They-
it's not a cheap one. This is not Monte Alban. This is I can't remember how to pronounce the name, but it's from Oaxaca, and it's like a
A
good one.
decent.
Well, they grilled the
Has a
pineapple when they
hang
put it
tag
in.
on the
It's good.
bottle.
Oh.
Like that kind
Oh,
of good. But when I drank it, it was like what was like you were what do you call it? You know, when you take gas out of a gas tank,
Siphoning?
like you were siphoning diesel.
Oh, that's rough.
And I like smoky
Yeah,
whiskeys.
let's do that on here.
But I
Sounds
can
good.
smell, like when I smell it, I can smell the plant behind it. I can smell some floral notes and stuff. It's just, whoa, I'm used to peat smoke, like in Scotch.
Right.
But I
Yeah.
am not used to whatever the hell that is.
But this is good.
This has none
We're
of that.
talking about mezcal. This
has
is
none of that.
not
You
mezcal.
just said pineapple, so I say, you know what? We got to find something to do with that bottle of mezcal because I am not going to.
Bring it. We'll do
Maybe
it.
they took some tumbleweeds and cooked it.
Maybe
with
that's
that.
when we can
I
do
mean-
some cocktail shaking, and you can appreciate a cocktail shaker.
Yeah. I think that's what it's made out of, tumbleweed.
Might be.
Yeah.
Burnt trash.
It's not agave, that's for sure. It's some other kind of cactusy plant
Ooh.
that's made out of.
Okay. Oh, so where do we go from here?
Well,
What are you gonna
we
tell
were
us about?
talking about San Antonio,
Okay.
and for our last hotel, we referenced this one. So I thought, well, let's just jump right in to the haunted hotel of Emily Morgan. It's actually called the Emily Morgan Hotel, and it's in San Antonio. It is one of the main haunted hotels in San Antonio that flanks the Alamo. It has been ranked number 3 as the most haunted hotel in the world recently. And I did look, I referenced that before, and I did look, and Stanley is number 10. So if that kind of gives you any reference. Of course, in that same one, they say 3rd. I saw 5th. Regardless, top 5.
So Stephen King should have stayed at the.
Stephen King did stay here, actually.
Oh, he did.
And this is the hotel that he wrote 1408.
Oh, interesting, because Stanley was the one that he stayed in
For The
that
Shining.
Inspired the Shining.
inspired him to write The Shining.
So
Very
the Emily
interesting.
Morgan is
Cool.
1408, and I will touch on that in just a minute.
Okay, I'm sorry, didn't mean to
But
walk
to
all
give
over you.
nope. That was a good intro. So I'm going to give you a quick timeline real quick
Okay.
to tell you about the hotel. It hasn't always been a hotel. It was built in 1924 by Ralph Cameron, and it's a medical art. It was intended to be a medical arts building, and it was for the first 30, 40 years of its existence.
Is that a fancy
50
way to
years.
say hospital?
Well,
Or that was more
it
research or
had
something?
offices and a 50-bed hospital.
Okay.
Medical arts building from 1924 to 1976. It is a 13-story tower, Gothic style, with gargoyles portraying medical ailments and afflictions across the side of it.
Whoa.
All of the gargoyles have some sort of ailment or affliction.
Hey, Doc, I think I got the gargoyle.
I need this gargoyle frozen off of me.
Look, I hooked up with this girl and I ended up with a gargoyle. Can you do anything about it?
I will say it is 13 stories. However, it does not have a 13th floor out of superstition.
It's the 14th floor.
It skips the 13th and goes to the 14th.
Hence the 1408.
Oh,
And
it's
guess
still
what it
technically
doesn't
the
have?
13th.
It does not have a room 1408 because when you add those numbers together, they equal 13.
Math is hard.
13. Yeah, you're right.
Yes. So it goes from 1407 to the Duke Suite.
The Duke Suite.
Yeah.
Now, is that named after John Wayne?
Well, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Or
That's
Duke
a-
Ellington.
You made some good music. So, it was thought to have, and they say thought, so I can't really, there's nothing that actually says for sure that there was a psych wing, but it was thought that there was a section devoted to psychiatric care at the time. It had a morgue and a crematorium as well. And there we have where probably a lot of it originates. So that was 1924 to 1976. It was MD like office building, medical offices, and a 50-bed hospital. 1976 converted into office space. In 1977, it was placed on the National Register of Historic Places. And then in 1984, it started its use as a hotel. It joined the Hilton Doubletree family in 2012 after a multi-million-dollar renovation.
So they took an old hospital with a morgue and stuff and turned it into a hotel.
Yes, they did. They did. Well, it had been office buildings too. It wasn't like a straight up hospital because it doesn't look like a hospital at
it's
all.
a beautiful building.
Very beautiful building.
Yeah, absolutely. I was looking at
It looks
pictures
like it
too.
was originally built as a hotel.
It does. It does for sure.
Oh, lightning.
Look at
That's a
that
good one.
light. Yeah.
Now, of course, a lot of the hauntings come from the fact that it's built on the site of the Battle of the Alamo in 1836.
Did you hear that?
Would this have been the South Wall? Or
Yes. Yes, that's where one of the oldest part of the Alamo is the barrack part that's in the front, and it was extended into where the Emily Morgan is now. It is obviously not there now, just the mission is there, and they show you where the barrack is, and it's there on site of the Alamo.
That's where Colonel Travis died.
Correct.
Okay.
But all of that, obviously, the mission, the Alamo itself is, the old mission church, and it has a wall around it now. But the Emily Morgan, when you go out to see the Alamo, they have multiple statues there, and we can put a picture on the website, on the Facebook.
We were just there recently,
and I took a picture. They actually have the statue of Emily Morgan right in front of the building. I was
about to ask, who is Emily Morgan?
So I'm going to get there. So Emily Morgan's history. I'm pretty steeped
in Texas history, and I'm not familiar with.
So it comes from at the bottom.
Texas.
Yes. So Emily Morgan, originally named Emily D. West.
This is the
girl. This is her history.
The girl. I'm not even sure how you say it now these days, but the mixed race woman who
mixed race. Yes, I'll get there. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Now I know who she is. Okay.
Yes,
I know exactly.
She was born Emily D. West. Born in 1815. She died in 1891. She was a free woman of mixed race from Connecticut that was contracted to James Morgan in New York as an indentured servant. And for 1 year, she was in Morgan's Point, Texas, as a housekeeper at a hotel. Indentured servants at that time took on the surname of their owners, hence her Emily Morgan. Mm-hmm. And that's why, though, it is unknown if she actually took his name. They just assume that she did. The Battle of the Alamo was from February 23rd to March 6th of 1836. The Mexican army was held off for 13 days by the Texian army, which were recent immigrants in the U.S., and a small militia from Tennessee that was led by Davy Crockett. They were volunteers, which is where the Tennessee Volunteer mascot comes from. And they came to Texas, and the Texian army at that time was led by James Bowie, and William B. Travis. The leader of the Mexican army was General Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna. And so at the Alamo, of course, we know that they held him off for 13 days, though the Mexican army defeated them. However, at the Battle of San Jacinto, April 21st, 1836, is when the battle ended, the war ended.
We caught him sleeping.
We did. Sleeping with Emily Morgan.
Emily West is how she's portrayed. That's the name that when you said that. Emily Morgan, I was like, oh, Emily Morgan.
Yeah. So,
by the way, portrayed by Cynthia Adair Robinson in the wonderful History Channel series Texas Rising.
So
it's great.
Emily Morgan comes into the story.
Like we're getting a sponsorship from the History Channel.
No, I'm just saying it is great especially if you're a Texan. It's got a great George Strait song as the theme for it. It's a fantastic.
You can't go wrong with that, right?
So I gave you the background of the Alamo because that happened from February 23rd to March 6th. Mm-hmm. She was a housekeeper at this hotel in Morgan's Point, Texas, and she was kidnapped by the Mexican army on April 16th of 1836. So we fast forward to the Battle of San Jacinto on April 21st of 1836. Santa Anna was said to be preoccupied in his tent by Emily Morgan, or West, mm-hmm. who was then, because he was preoccupied, they were then caught off guard when Sam Houston and the Texian army raided the camp. And so that's how they caught him off guard. That's the rumor. That's the legend that they caught him off guard. That's
always been the legend.
Now this story came from William Bollert's journal that was published in 1956, and he was told that story by Sam Houston himself during a steamer trip. He was an Englishman. So that's what Sam Houston said happened. So Emily Morgan is then known. The description of the song The Yellow Rose of Texas describes what Emily West Morgan looked like. So people think that that's what it's based off of because she is like the folk heroine of mm-hmm. the Alamo that helped them win. So that's how they named this hotel by her. Now, it's said to be obviously very haunted.
Right. Go ahead.
couple of different things. They say phones ringing in the middle of the night when there's no one, and then when you pick it up, there's nobody there. Pillows tossed when the cleaning service makes the bed. They would go into the bathroom to clean it and come back, and all the pillows would be off the bed and thrown around the room. One time a sales manager stayed the night at the hotel. She was in the restaurant. There's a restaurant called Oro. Gold.
Which means gold in Spanish.
Yeah. When she returned to her room, her bathtub was full of blue water.
That happened to my toilet once.
I think the cleaning staff came and just put the stuff
all over the bathtub.
No, I mean that happened to my toilet once. So you get the little thing that you hang down in there, and it turns all the water blue.
Little cakes.
Doors closing for no reason. The sound of hospital carts outside of people's doors. And then the 14th floor.
Wait. Hospital? Oh, I get
like
yeah,
gurneys or
Not room service carts.
No, hospital, like gurneys. I guess it sounds different, which I guess it does.
It does.
And then I saw this over numerous stories about how the 14th floor smells like antiseptic or a Band-Aid smell. Mm-hmm. That when you
iodine.
Yeah, when people got off at the 12th and then into the 14th, there was a marked difference in smell in the two. And then another very common report is the elevators stop at random floors for no reason. People are talking about how they go from 2 to 6, and they're like, oh, we're stopping. They'd open the doors, nobody's there. Then it would take them to 8, and they were trying to go to like 3. And it took them like to 4 different floors before it finally opened up on 3.
That's the ghost of Otis again. He's
yeah.
at it again.
Yeah. Or Thiessen.
And then women in white walking around the halls and shadows moving when there's nothing there that should create a shadow. So, there are some stories of people, like actual specific stories. One of them, somebody said they were finishing up their trip in Texas for their last day. We stayed at the Emily Morgan Hotel in San Antonio. From the beginning, I got a bad vibe. Starting off with the elevator, me and my brother were going down to the pool. As a joke, I say out loud, these ghosts are chill. Maybe they want to come swimming with us. Right as I said that, the elevator stops. Me and my brother were both confused because no one pressed the button. I tell him someone is probably getting on. The door opens to absolutely no one.
My brother and I just want to reach through the internet to her.
I know. I'm sorry.
Correct her English.
Not correcting it as I read it. I sometimes will do that, but I didn't. I nervously laughed, but thought it was kind of funny because they were proving that they were there, which was cool. He's talking about the ghosts. After a little bit, we went out to dinner. Coming back to the elevator, I say, uh-oh, guys, we might get haunted. Very spooky. Every light in the lobby goes out. The woman at the front desk calmly goes, yep, they heard you. Well, I was just laughing it off again. We went back, showered, and slept well. All until 5:30 in the morning when my dad taps me on the shoulder and goes, yo, near the door, there's a little girl. I just say out loud, what the hell? As I turned to the hallway area where the door was, right there, a little girl was there for maybe 2 seconds. Needless to say, I was freaked out. So around 8:30, we wake up and get ready for the day. My brother was on his phone looking through pictures and videos. He says from across the room, wow, really scary picture you got me. And I said, what are you talking about? And he says, the stupid video you put on my phone at 2:56 this morning. I put nothing on his phone. His phone was also not where he put it the night before. The video was a dark scream and extremely loud breathing. I'll attach the video if anybody wants to tell me their thoughts. That's his report about the different things that he sees. This person says, something weird happened in my room in 1401. I was in the shower and my phone was in the desk by the TV. Why are you putting it in the desk? I got out of the shower, putting my clothes on, and my phone beeps. I check it out, and my phone was in the process of trying to initiate a FaceTime call with 2 random people in my contacts. I grabbed the phone and ended the calls. I called the people asking them if they tried to FaceTime with me. They answered that they hadn't, but stated that I had. So that was one. Another one.
If you wanted to flash somebody and you wanted to send them one of those kind of pictures, but you wanted to make it look like it was an accident, you go to the Emily Morgan.
What was that website where it was like you just get random chat roulette?
I don't know about chat roulette.
Chat roulette on your phone.
Yeah, it's not on my phone.
It's not on mine. You don't remember chat roulette.
Good.
Okay, here's my story about my stay at the Emily Morgan 10 years ago. I was traveling alone and stayed at this fine older hotel because it was smaller and more historic than the Grand Hyatt, which is a bomb hotel there, where I was attending a convention during the day. I was in an older room with double doors to the bath, and I had a relatively quiet, uneventful stay. The last night of the convention was a formal ball, so I was in my tux, a 40-year-old feeling dashing, and found myself alone in that weirdly shaped lobby waiting for the valet with my car, which if you look at their lobby, the way that it's on a corner. and so it's almost like a V is what the building is like. I don't know what the lobby
Like
looks
the-
like, but
like
the
the
hotel.
Flatiron.
Yes, it's at the corner.
Yeah, it looks like the Continental Hotel in the John Wick movies, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said, I tempted fate by saying out loud that a fine lady at this hotel should join me for a fine time at the ball. The formal ball went well, and when I collected the digitals and other photos of our group for that evening, every single picture of me, whether taken on my camera or not, had a round, luminous orb either by my heart, in the hook of my arm, or at my hand. It even seemed to shrink in size and retreat to my arm when I was embracing or near another woman for the photos taken. My wife, who did not accompany me to Texas for the event, saw all the pictures and suggested to me that someone took me up on my invitation to the ball from the Emily Morgan. Every single picture had an orb. In where
Not
you would,
dust or an insect, but an orb.
Well, I think it's interesting that it's every photo
picture
and
kinda
it's all
rules out.
over his heart or on his arm.
That does kind of rule out the whole dust thing.
Do you need a hall pass for a ghost?
No. I don't think so.
this person said that they hadn't had any experiences.
Doesn't count.
No. They hadn't had any experiences. They stated it was a great time until around 3:30 in the morning that they were going to leave. The phone in the room started to ring. It rang a few more times throughout the night, and picking up the headset yielded a busy tone which made no sense. Front desk staff assured us that they never contacted us. We agreed this was something paranormal. If anyone's interested, we stayed on the 7th floor, which is one of the floors that's known to be haunted, which I think all of the floors are haunted.
I
but
tell you what, something keeps waking me up. I'm just going to pull the cord out of it, and then if it rings, then you know.
Then you know.
Right? Then you know it's something paranormal and not just an issue with the switchboard or with the phone systems.
John is an Encyclopedia Britannica when it comes to history.
Okay.
So let me ask, how many people on the out of the Mexican army died at the Alamo? Was it 1,600?
600.
I
It
thought it was
says that-
1,600.
It may have.
And the Mexican army?
Yes, at the Alamo.
Oh,
1,600,
the Texan
wasn't
army.
it?
Texan army was 600.
Yeah, it's a lot more than that for the Mexican army. Actually, I can tell you right.
At the Alamo?
400 to 600 Mexican soldiers killed, and 182 to 257 on the Texas side.
Okay, so it
Right.
was 600 is what you
600
always see.
Mexicans.
Yeah.
There were 3,000. I believe the strength was 3,000.
The army, the Mexican army
army.
at the...
2,100.
Okay, 2,100. So they lost 600 on their side. We lost
Everyone.
almost 200. Yeah, everyone. We
Well, there
lost
were
all.
260 present before the line in the sand and
Right.
and Moses rose and the cowards left.
The cowards left.
There were 3 survivors, if I'm correct. I believe they were all women and a couple of
Children.
enslaved people. There was an
that for
enslaved
children?
man.
Yeah, there was.
There was a
Who
grown
left?
man who was, I believe he was either Jim Bowie's or William Travis's slave, but
It wasn't Bowie's.
It was,
it was-
according to the movie, it was Travis's.
it's William
It was
Travis's slave.
Travis's.
Yeah,
Travis's slave.
he survived. Because slavery was illegal in Mexico under Mexican law, and so they did not kill the slaves that were there.
Right. So you think about all those people that died. Now you couple that with it being a hospital, and I've worked in several hospitals.
So you got over 800 and almost 900 people that died in that battle.
You've got a lot of potential for souls lost.
Well, and they had a morgue
You know.
and a crematorium, so there's no telling what kind of stuff you have from that perspective.
So odds are pretty good that it's haunted.
I have 2 more stories. So this person was on the 7th floor. EMF readings in our room were very high, and we actually saw a shadowy figure in our room just before dawn. The shrieking, willful elevators did not disappoint, and we definitely got an uneasy feeling on a quick trip up to the 13th, 14th floor. In the midst of all that, the hotel was clean, efficient, and comfortable. Not above average posh, but it delivered exactly what we were looking for.
Not above average posh.
So, and then this one, we had a great time at the Emily Morgan Hotel. We went for a couple's weekend and were greeted by valet promptly as we pulled up. As soon as you enter the lobby, you smell roses. It is subtle and not overpowering.
Are they yellow roses?
I would hope so. Check-in was a breeze. We headed to the elevators, and they were operating efficiently our entire stay. Our room was on the 6th floor with a great view of the Alamo and other hotels. The Emily Morgan is a quick walk to almost everything. Says, so my ghost story. As soon as I walked into our room, number 603, I felt an overwhelming sense of calm. It was really weird. I slept so well that night. Second night, we are lying in bed watching TV, and I feel someone pull my hair 3 times. It wasn't like I got caught on something. I literally felt someone pull my hair 3 times. My husband had started to fall asleep, and when I sat up to tell him what happened, he thought I was joking. It didn't scare me or freak me out. I just smiled. Third night, in bed again, watching TV, and I feel someone tap on my ankle. This time I stayed still and said, babe, someone's tapping on my ankle right now, and then I kicked the air. That time did freak me out because everyone had convinced me that no one pulled my hair the night before. It was such a cool experience. We'll definitely be back.
You know what would freak me out? If I felt someone pulling my hair.
Yes.
It would
that
definitely
freak you out.
It would be a phantom. Phantom pull.
It would.
That should freak you out, John.
So,
Just saying.
you know, those are a few of the stories. I mean, obviously to be on the list of one of the most haunted hotels in the world, there's got to be a lot of things. You can see that people will report that they had, you know, paranormal experiences, but they don't go into detail about what they saw. But overwhelming majority is the elevators go crazy, the smell. There were some people that were talking about like hearing what, you know, the phones when they would pick it up, it sounded busy, which was weird. And then some people said that they would hear like what they thought was people fighting like in the room next to them. Mm-hmm. But then they would call down there and they would, and the people would say, well,
there's nobody in that room or something.
Well, one person said there's nobody in that room. We don't know why you would hear that. And then somebody else said, oh, it's probably just a drunk, you know, some drunk people and having a fight. But then like there would be nobody they would see that would come out of that room. And like a couple of times they would hear like adjoining room, like the doors jingle, like the knob jiggling. So I will say that I've heard reports and seen reviews that the Oro Restaurant's really good.
I'm looking at the menu right now. You know me, right? So I'm sitting here looking at the menu.
It's top notch. It's one of your like fine dining, if I remember.
This is the Alamo burger. So you got a burger with jalapeno on a jalapeno cheddar bun with pico de gallo, avocado, fried onions, and chorizo queso.
Oh my God!
Wow.
For only $18.
It's not too bad for all that.
So you're either going to end up at the cardiologist or the proctologist.
There's a Shiner Bach braised short rib with guajillo honey glazed carrots, garlic mashed potatoes, and Shiner Bach demi-glace.
There you go.
For $32.
I love me some food. I will say what I was surprised when I was reading the reviews of this and stuff. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are like, we didn't know it was a haunted hotel. We didn't know it was a haunted hotel. And they would get mad. And I'm like, why? How do you go to the Alamo and not know that it's a haunted hotel? From Texas or not?
All 3 of them.
Who goes?
All of them. Yeah, the Minger, the Crockett, and the Emily Morgan.
Yeah. So who goes to any hotel that was built in the early 1900s and doesn't
didn't expect it to be haunted.
And doesn't expect it to be haunted, or doesn't at least look at TripAdvisor to see, hey, I'm going here because of the hauntings. Mm-hmm. You know, like for me, you know, I'm like, oh, I want to go to a haunted hotel. I want to see those things.
And I understand if you don't want to, because back in the day, like I'd have been like, but at least I would like find out about it. Like this is not one of those hotels. This is not like a Days Inn or a motel that you're driving down the street and you're like, well, we need to stop off for a night. Like this is a like.
No, you booked that.
You booked this. I mean, valet's $40. Like you didn't just happen upon the Emily Morgan. Like
it wasn't the Motel 6 out on the highway.
No, I mean. He didn't leave the light on for you. I mean, it's you had you saw it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that just shocked me.
I will be honest though. I mean, I'm not surprised because it's right there at the side of the Alamo. So I'm not surprised that it's haunted. It was built in the 1920s and it was a hospital.
Did Ozzy Osbourne ever pee on it?
I don't know, but he did pee on the Alamo.
No, he didn't actually.
Oh, he didn't. Did he pee near?
No,
he was
near the Alamo.
He was arrested for public. So there was on that Ozzy and Jack's road trip show where him and Jack went on. They went to San Antonio for the first time since 1983 or whatever that happened, and they met with a local congressman or the state representative from there who had the records pulled the arrest records. He was arrested for public intoxication. There is not one mention of it at all. And he was a block away from the Alamo when he was arrested. There's nothing in the arrest report about him urinating on the Alamo. It is urban legend.
I can honestly say,
and he is welcome back in San Antonio now.
I can honestly say, every time that I've been on the Riverwalk right across from the Alamo, you could have arrested me for public intoxication. Because that is one of those places that it's just like every place you go, it's a bar, it's a restaurant, it's a tequila bar. But
I think he was beyond that.
It was Ozzy. Come on, everything he did was over the top.
It was, yeah.
And so, just for reference, if you ever wanted to stay, there's some, depending on the day that you go, there's some rooms $149 a night.
That's reasonable. How much
are they the size of a closet?
Then there's one that's $721. So
how much is the Duke Suite? I won't stay in the Duke Suite.
I know, right? Let me see if I can figure out this Duke Suite business.
I'm not staying in these pauper rooms.
So from what I
I don't want to be around the poors down in the.
So when
the Duke Suite's the $721.
That's not bad compared to that Stockyards Hotel that.
The 1200 suite. So one king Duke Suite, Alamo City View. It actually is.
Does it have a balcony and stuff?
I don't know. I'm pulling up the pictures, but it looks pretty swank. Sleeps 5, mini fridge, jetted tub, coffee maker, LCD TV, seating area with sofa, 300 thread count sheets.
Oh, that's
hello.
Wow.
Whirlpool bath.
Just to point out that I have way higher thread count at home, and I bought him at Target for next to nothing.
You get a
like
bathrobe.
800 thread counts.
You get a bathrobe.
Oh, can you keep it?
I don't think so.
Of course you can, but it gets.
They're going to charge your credit card once you're gone. They figure out.
It has an ergonomic desk chair, spacious 2-room suite.
What is the 140? What do you get for $149? Because it's kind of tempting.
Let me see. I'm looking to see.
You
get 2 phones in this one.
Just so you get
ring.
So it can wake you up twice.
You get double jacked with by
high-speed internet at no charge.
Oh.
Braille room numbers.
Oh, thank God.
So the thing is,
I love it when they put that on there.
It might be $149 for a room, but you like where we live. I know everybody. Well, I don't know that everybody, but Texas is a huge state. And for us to drive to San Antonio, somebody up in the Northeast could drive across 3 or 4 states.
Oh yeah, it takes. We're about 4.5. No, it's 4 hours to Austin, so it's a good.
It's 5. A good 5-6.
Yeah, it's
like
5 and a half,
hours.
6.
Yeah.
Easy, unless you forget your clothes.
You're another hour and a half past Austin, and it takes 4 hours to get from here to Austin.
So I forgot my pants.
Our last trip to San Antonio, we were only going to stay one night, and then it ended up being 2 nights. But anyway,
this is when you guys stayed at the one on the north end of the.
We stayed in the Crockett.
The Crockett.
And we're driving into San Antonio, and there's traffic. And Alyssa says, I'm going to change into, because we're like in traveling clothes. When we travel, we dress bummed out, and it's comfortable because you're sitting in the car, right? So, sweatpants.
I'm wearing sweatpants.
You don't want a belt cutting into your.
No. So we're like in sweatpants and T-shirts.
Like Mike and I's Slims felt abs.
So we're pulling into San Antonio. We're in traffic. And Alyssa says, I'm going to change my clothes before we get to the hotel because it's really nice there. And we're going to go out someplace nice to eat and blah, blah, blah.
And we're sitting in traffic, so why not, right?
So she's going to hop.
I mean, I could think of a couple of reasons. 18-wheeler pulls up next to you.
We're not in a fishbowl. We're in a tinted vehicle.
He'll see my hot wife in the back changing clothes. I don't care. So
you voyeur.
Yeah, right. So exhibitionist.
Excuse me.
Get it straight.
The voyeur would be looking.
Right. And so anyway, she hops back here and she goes back up, and I swear to God, her eyes are the size of that shot glass. And she's like, I left my pants at home. I'm like,
I forgot my pants.
What? My jeans are at the house. I didn't bring them. I'm like, oh.
So I literally.
What did you take? I mean, you just had sweatpants?
I just had sweatpants.
We're traveling. I mean,
and we were gonna spend one night, so we didn't get crazy, right? So I was just gonna grab pants. I think my jeans were hanging up in the laundry room, which is right next to our room, and so I'm like, I'll just grab them. Meanwhile, I'm also packing the child to go for a week with
Yeah,
my
that's
family
true.
for spring break, making sure, and she had a cast at the time, so I had to make sure she's got the cast cover and she's got all of the stuff that she can wear, and it's supposed to rain and be cold because it's been unseasonably cold this year.
So she's having to pack two, basically for cold and warm, because she's going to Uvalde and spending a week in Uvalde for spring break.
Yeah.
So she had to pack for cold weather. She had to pack for warm weather.
Right.
And then I had to put the dog has to go to my sister's, and so I'm packing the dog stuff, and I'm just
What kind of clothes do you pack for Winston?
well, he has a sweater.
Of course he does.
No lie.
It's unseasonably cold. You have to admit it was cold.
It was
and
cold.
it's cold right now.
He has a fur coat, but
Yeah.
No, he has.
He
He
gets
doesn't have
cold.
fur. He has hair.
he's mostly Chihuahua. So
Yeah,
I
no,
guess
he doesn't look like it though, and he doesn't have any fur. He has hair. Regardless, I forgot my pants. So then, of course, we have literally by 6 minutes past the last exit to any semblance of an affordable place to shop, i.e., Target, Walmart, to pick up.
You're on 35 coming into town, or
Were we on 35?
or
No, we
we're
took a
coming-
different route somehow.
We angled in instead of coming straight down. We were.
Oh,
angling
you would like-
across.
We bypassed 35 because this
Old
was
San
Friday
Antonio
night.
Road or something like that.
This is Friday night, so we like circumvented it, like took a very circuitous route so that we cut off like it was like 25 minutes less, but we also got to go.
like down to College Station and come down from there.
Well, we were already in Buda. We were in South Austin, but we took the toll road that you can go 85 miles an hour on. That had no
love that
traffic.
road.
Isn't that great?
I love that
Yes.
road.
So anyway, we go, and this took another extra hour. So we ended up staying twice, which if we had known the cost of some of the other hotels, we probably would have been like, hey, we'll pack up our crap and then go to another hotel because it was cheaper than where we stayed. But so just so you know, the 149, there's a 2 queen bed option and then a 1 king bed option that has like a day bed that's sitting in front of the window, but it doesn't have your 2 separate suites. It only has 1 phone to annoy you.
That's better.
And it doesn't have a robe. Not sure the count of the sheets. It doesn't tell me.
Off topic, but how on the 85? How fast did you go?
90.
I've never seen any enforcement on there.
Well, because
I
you're paying
haven't
to be
either.
on there, so a lot of times they don't. They do here.
It's kind of like toll roads.
I was going like Italy, 90 in
Yeah,
the truck
there's-
around there.
Minimal is.
But I've seen them take Lamborghinis around there, like going over 100.
Oh, easy.
Well over
Oh, I'm
100.
sure.
Going to Lake Travis around that way, I take that. Oh my god,
It's
so
definitely
fun.
worth it too to circumvent traffic.
You know, in Texas, we
Because
have
35
these-
is ridiculous.
In Texas, we have these long stretches of highway that sometimes are very flat and very open and wide, and there's no local constabulary monitoring the speed there. And I've heard of guys getting on their FJR and going 140 miles an hour just south of
Which is a
Lufkin.
motorcycle.
Yeah, just south of Lufkin, doing 140 miles an hour.
Yeah, there's
I've never done that. Of
Yeah,
course.
I
if
think
you're
this
coming out of El Paso,
Oh yeah.
coming back or going, there is a long stretch between about 100 miles between El Paso and that border checkpoint that's in the middle of the desert, middle of nowhere.
Well, let's get real. Anytime you get past Fort Worth, you have that.
And the only law enforcement you see after you leave El Paso is the border patrol vehicles 100 miles later.
Right.
And it's flat desert. We live in a wonderful state.
We do. You can have anything you want. You want beach? We got it. You want forest? We got it.
You want desert?
We
You
got
want
it.
high desert? You want mountains?
You want
we
hills?
got it.
You want lakes? We got that. You can get a deluxe king room with an Alamo view for $178 on a Thursday. So much more affordable to me than especially the Stockyards. Newer, it's a Doubletree, it's a Hilton. So if you have Hilton honors points, you can go there for that price. But definitely something I'd like to stay in and check out.
I have
just
a La
'cause
Quinta Gold membership.
Well, you know,
Well-
my bucket list has every haunted hotel in the world that I want to check off.
Well, this one's definitely going to be, it's in the top 10. And when we were looking at it, like the Stanley is on there. There's quite a few actually in America that are on there, but there's a few. There's one in Italy. There's one in France. There's a couple in Germany. But obviously,
England,
I mean, a lot of
probably.
those, yes. Some
I stayed in the
castles.
Minger and the
Crockett.
Crockett. I stayed in the Crescent. I stayed in Basin Park. You know,
Yeah, we'll have to
so-
hit up the Eureka one soon.
I don't
for-
think I've ever stayed. I've stayed in. There was one in Mobile. I cannot remember the name of it, but it is an old antebellum mansion that's a hotel. I stayed there
You were with your mom and
with
your
the family.
daughter and
Yeah,
your
yeah,
aunt?
yeah. And I had the balcony suite up top by myself to myself.
So did you see the ghosts?
The Malaga Inn?
Yes.
Malaga?
That's it. Yep.
Did anybody pull your hair?
No, I did get chills and stuff, but that's because I had my own thermostat in there for that room, and this was July, and so I had that bitch cranked out. It was like on 65. But I will say this about the Malaga Inn: best, most comfortable, amazing memory foam mattress and pillows I've ever slept on in my life. Absolutely amazing. At beautiful hotel, wonderful. I had a balcony overlooking the street with a Spanish
Moss
and stuff hanging.
That's
I mean,
cool.
It was really nice. And the other one was in Kansas City. I cannot remember the name of it. It was in downtown KC. Was there for a...
By the way, the Malaga Inn has been named the 6th best haunted hotel in America by USA Today in September of 22.
It is a wonderful stay. Great breakfast the next day. Top notch. Didn't see any ghosts. If I did feel a cold spot, it was my fault. I wouldn't have known any different because I had the air conditioner cranked.
Right.
Also, the one in Kansas City, I actually went ghost hunting there, sort of. I went by myself to the old section, the old 19th century section.
Is it the Hotel Phillips?
No, I don't think so. They have a new section that's brand new tower, and then they have an old section.
21C Museum Hotel?
No. And the old section is still the same way as it would have been like in 1900.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's not in use. Like actual check-in and stuff is in the new tower.
Okay.
So the old one still has the mail slots, the old like message slots for every room and stuff, and the old switchboard.
Can you imagine?
It's kind of odd because there's this beautiful hand-carved oak thing, and sitting on top of it is a Linksys wireless router. And some Cat 5 cables, right? And that's the only modern thing down there. There's a little library and sitting room, and there's supposedly this blue lady that haunts the place. And I spent like an hour down there in the middle of the night with my phone, just taking pictures behind me, calling out, asking are you there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Elms Hotel and Spa?
Nothing happened.
Belvoir Winery and Inn?
Now,
Epperson House?
this is like,
The Coates Hotel?
I don't remember. It was 2015. I've
Mulebach
slept
Hotel?
since then.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe if I said it, you'd
It's
know
a
it.
big hotel downtown. Like the new tower is big.
Hotel Phillips is a big one.
I don't think you're going to stir it.
Speaking of La Quintas, though, he had an experience at a La Quinta
I did?
at my great-grandmother's funeral.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? There's no telling how many murders have occurred in La Quintas around this country.
No, we really think it was my great-grandmother that
Half
came
the
right
time I
before her
stay
funeral.
in one, I assume that there is a dead hooker in the mattress.
Okay, well,
I could be honest with you. I don't automatically go to dead hooker in the mattress.
no.
It
same.
just, maybe I should, but I don't. But I know that hotels, that there is a high number of suicides in hotels because people don't want to do it at home.
Don't want to leave that at home.
And, in front of their family, so they go to hotels. So was there any mention of any suicides or anything?
There wasn't, like at the stockyards. There
Yeah, I
was
was gonna
not.
say, like, the
No, I
stockyards
think
had
that this
some.
one is because of they think that it's enriched in the Alamo history, and
Right.
that's a lot of what it is. Though there were less reports about. There were some reports of people in like a uniform dress.
Mm-hmm.
Less
like hospital.
No, like army, like
Oh,
military
really?
uniform.
Mm-hmm.
But there was more reports of that from the Crockett than there were from Emily Morgan. Emily Morgan is more on the hospital side of things because that's when it was constructed. Because the Davy Crockett's been there longer than what the Emily Morgan had been.
Right.
So they have a lot more of the hospital hauntings. Crematorium. There's a report the crematorium was on the roof. So that's why they think that the 14th floor is more haunted. But then the morgue is downstairs.
Well, that would make sense of the crematorium.
Yeah,
be up-
because it's blowing out that
Yeah.
way. And the morgue is downstairs. There are ghost tours you can do here, and they will let you go down there and explore all those things.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah, at one point, I think they had that blocked off. the
They
Emily
did,
Morgan?
but
Okay.
I don't know if you could like tomorrow go. You can through the city. We saw those when we were there, but in the actual building, I'm not sure that you can actually go down there anymore.
Yeah.
I think COVID changed a lot of things for some of these places. But this is definitely on my list of places to go. For one thing, it's just beautiful. We'll put some pictures up. But
Yeah,
they're
great.
It's absolutely beautiful. Just the Gothic, that mid-century Gothic style is something you just can't.
I believe it was the Phillips.
You can't see anything anywhere. You don't see that everywhere.
That was it. That's the old section. So we stayed in the tower across the street, the new rooms. But this was also part of the same. It's owned by Marriott now, and you were allowed to go down there. And you would go across there. Do your thing to get in, just like you were getting into the main tower, and then in the middle of the night there's nobody there, and it is ancient, but they have remodeled that since then. They had not, it was still original, but now it's all super posh and modern down there. But
really, see, there's something about hotels that I love, just like I love ancient like mansions and like castles.
I love the hotels. I love staying in them.
I like staying in them. I like learning about them. I like going to see old ones and learning about the history. I mean, the haunted thing, I'm like, I don't really know that I want to experience any of it, but some of it's pretty cool. So this one's definitely one you should put on your bucket list. For one thing, it's just pretty to take pictures of.
I love hotel. You know what I love staying in a hotel?
The smell.
Cranking the AC down.
Then you don't have to pay the bill.
Any of them, right?
Yeah.
And you don't have to worry about your dad going, I can't cool the whole neighborhood.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about the electric bill. You don't have to worry about, it's Texas in August. We're going to have an $800 electric bill. You don't have to worry about that. And they just get extra cold because it's that one room, Even if it's the old, it doesn't have a thermostat. You have to actually touch the thing that's below the window and stuff. I always crank them and keep them
Unless you go to the Crockett, which everybody talked about how hot it was. Which usually in a haunted hotel, it's cold.
Yeah, but you guys' room,
or not the Crockett.
Was so
I'm sorry,
high.
not the Crockett. The Stockyards that I did before that everybody talked about no hot water and it was hot in there. The Crockett didn't get hot. We had our own.
No, and
we
I'm
had super
surprised.
high ceilings.
Those ceilings.
Yeah, the ceiling.
The
height,
pictures I sent you. 16 foot. Easy.
It was tall.
But what's so striking to me is like they've remodeled all these and they all have their individual thermostats with their individual AC units now. So you're not competing. You don't have the, like in the motels where they're on the outside and leaking out the floor and you're hoping that they still work. Like you have your own thermostat and you can like jack them down and it's like, I ran it at the Crockett at like 68 because I was like, we getting cold in here. It was hot. It was hot, unseasonably hot when we were there.
I had that one at the Malaga down around 65.
Yeah.
Like when I woke up, the windows were like, had the water over them. I mean, and I was like bundled up. In July, completely bundled up under sheets and covers and stuff. But I will say this about the Malaga, that the suite, the nice room that I stayed in up there, there are paintings with eyes that do seem to follow you around the room.
Like the Mona Lisa?
Not quite that good.
Oh, okay.
Not that good, no. More like...
not as good as Mona Lisa.
More like you picked it up at a Kincaid gallery, but...
Hey, that's still...
No,
Kincaid's not bad. I mean,
they actually look like, like a 18th century, they're wearing the wigs and stuff, the big, like they look like Marie Antoinette, but the eyes do kind of freak you out a little bit.
Do they?
Yeah.
Did y'all hear that?
I did.
Even if you don't see a ghost, if you're in Mobile, it's probably the nicest stay in Mobile.
It's not hard to do.
It's a beautiful place.
I lived there for 3 years. I don't remember it much.
Did you really?
I did. I was like 8.
I think what we should do is we should record sound effects just to play and maybe get some lighting effects to flash lightning outside.
I'll tell you
like
what,
that.
nature was doing it just then.
I know. That's what I'm saying. We should do that for every show. We could make it, since it's spooky haunted type stuff, we get sound effects and lighting and stuff to make it look like it's lightning.
I definitely want to go stay here. I want to see at the Emily Morgan. I want to see if the water is better. When we stayed at the Crockett, the water went hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold.
Oh, this is very reasonable for an Alamo adjacent hotel.
Absolutely. I think I'll have to do some report.
I'm sure it's seasonal too, as far as price.
Probably.
I'll have to do the history, or excuse me, I'm gonna have to do the research of the Crockett too, because it was a lot of fun to stay there. It's a beautiful hotel as well. But I'll tell you, like in August, every day is 140.
That's
so
the
freaking
temperature
hot.
outside. Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. We're in Texas.
Let's see what it is in October. Everybody likes to go places in October. 182.
That is still the outside temperature in most of October.
Yes. 316 on a Tuesday. So these are telling you, like, when you go and look at their website. Yeah, when you go look at their website, it'll tell you. Yeah, but that Tuesday happens to be Halloween.
Oh, well.
Sorry.
Yeah, okay.
There you
Let
go.
me
Yeah.
let me
Haunted
qualify
hotel on
that.
Halloween.
Yeah, November 174, 182. So your general queen king
Less than
normal
$200
room
a night.
is going to be less than $200, which to be right downtown in the heart of the Riverwalk in a haunted hotel that looks cool as hell from the outside and has some little
is very
ghosties
cool.
and
Yeah.
spirit friends.
Just some of the architecture and the artwork.
137, 124.
That's really good. 124 is cheaper than a Holiday Inn Express. That's
Truth.
really good.
So we want to stay at the Emily Morgan
We do. Let's do it.
I will eat at Oro,
and eat at Oro.
Mm-hmm.
which I will dine upon.
And I just happen to know that you can see Voodoo Donuts from the front of Emily Morgan.
So you get
Oh,
those
can you?
donuts
Yeah,
with
if you
the
stand
bacon
at
on
the
it.
front of Emily Morgan, Voodoo Donuts is right down the
Oh,
street
yeah.
on
Don't want to
Houston.
miss that either.
You get
So-
some San Antonio fajitas.
Oh, it's the
All
food
kinds of
there is
stuff.
absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I don't know if I would eat. Actually, maybe if you needed to grab a quick burger at the hotel, but there's way too many fantastic Mexican food restaurants
Oh, my
in
gosh,
San
yeah.
Antonio to.
On San
It's
Antonio
bomb.
itself. We could do multiple podcasts on San Antonio and everything about it.
Oh, La
Haunted,
Fonda.
food, all of it.
Yep. All right.
Alrighty,
So
let's go there. Take me there.
Emily Morgan. We do Emily Morgan someday. And what do we have?
I'll
to
stay at
do?
her hotel.
Give a
Much like
some sort of-
General Santa Ana, I would do Emily.
I'm about to say, I'm going to stay there. Y'all can do whatever you want, but I'm going to stay there.
make sure we get loaded up on penicillin first. All right.
You're allergic.
Right. I can't. I'm in trouble. So the what do we have to drink tonight?
Herradura Ultra, Añejo Cristalino.
You said that so fast. That's impressive.
Herradura Ultra, Añejo Cristalino.
She can do that. Her tongue never gets tied. It's amazing, and it
thought
goes.
you were gonna say
at a
tired.
million miles. That too. Or that.
Can you roll your R's though? Herradura. Okay.
Herradura.
Herradura.
Yep, Herradura.
All right then.
I actually had a Spanish teacher in my 6th grade. She said, y'all are going to speak appropriately
Yeah.
and not
that's-
like gringos, is what she said.
Yeah, they hammered it into my 4 semesters in high school and 4 semesters in college. The R rolling.
Wow.
Herradura. We're good.
Herradura.
We're good.
Herradura.
Are we done?
I
think
don't know.
we're done.
The camera stayed on the whole time. No curse.
It did. No curse.
No
camera
curse.
tonight.
To go and enjoy the storm.
All right. Okay. That's
Nighty-night.
it for us. Nighty night.
Hey, don't forget subscribe,
Holy gee. Go
all
ahead.
the YouTube stuff, Twitter, TikTok,
Paranormal-spirits.com.
the Facebooks.
Booze with benefits.
Boots with Benefits on Facebook. We have Instagram that's basically the same name. I think it's Paranormal-Spirits.
YouTube is now 3B Paranormal.
It
Spirits.
is 3B Paranormal.
3B Paranormal
Spirits.
Black Burkett.
Yep.
Black Burkett.
Black Burkett. And
3B.
We have
That's the number 3 and B, not the word 3.
right.
Just
We
so
have-
you know exactly where to search.
We have the Twitters. We have the TikToks.
There's tweeting, talking,
Tweeting, talking,
Booking.
gramming,
tubing, gramming,
Tubing.
the whole works.
tubing.
Like and subscribe.
Like and
Join
subscribe.
our
Smash
Booze with
that
Benefits.
button.
If you watch the video and you like hit subscribe because subscribing really helps the algorithm.
Oh my gosh. Like you wouldn't know. Please, I beg
So
you.
many channels you'll see that people watch the videos and 50-60% of people who watch them don't subscribe. It can't it no hurt.
Yeah.
No hurt.
All right. Good night.
Night, y'all.